What's going on, everybody? Mike here with iSMELL, and yes, we are back at it with another video. Listen, I am particularly excited about today's review as this is a fragrance that I have been wanting to talk about, to review and showcase on the channel for well over 3 months. This one comes from the designer house of Hugo Boss. The name of this one is BOSS Bottled Intense EDP, or Eau de Parfum. But I'm not here to waste anybody's time, seeing as we have quite a bit of information to get through in this review. Let's go ahead and get into it. So yeah, a bit of overview about the fragrance before we start talking about notes or what I smell. The EDP Intense is a flanker to the very successful original release simply called BOSS Bottled. That one came out in 1998, and again, it was a huge success. What you'll usually always see when a fragrance is released and it is a huge hit, you can almost anticipate that there is going to be an infinite amount of subsequent flankers. I mean, Hugo Boss even has a flanker from this same line called Infinite. It's very easy for us to get into the weeds, but I do want to let y'all know that the original came out in 1998, which I can only presume was an EDT. In 2015, they released an Intense EDT. In 2016, 1 year later, they released an Intense EDP. And to just muddy the waters even more and make it even more confusing, in 2020, they released a BOSS Bottled EDP without the moniker of Intense. So yeah, I do agree. It is a bit confusing. The most important thing to take away out of all of that word salad is that what I am reviewing right now is the 2016 EDP Intense. So in the spirit of all transparency, because anybody who is familiar with my channel, you are already well aware that I do pride myself on being honest, authentic, and unbiased in every single one of my reviews. It's worth me saying that because I did not pay for this fragrance out of my own pocket or with my own hard-earned money. This was a fragrance that was sent to me by a subscriber. Big shout out to Jace. It's important that I establish that because as of the date of this recording, this fragrance is discontinued. And because of that, resellers know there isn't many in stock. It's supply and demand. So what you're seeing are resellers sell it at extravagantly high prices. I've seen prices as high as $140 to $150 for this fragrance. Now, would I spend $140 to $150 on this fragrance? Absolutely not. But it is important that I let y'all know that the prices on this fragrance has gone up from like $35 to $150, which in and of itself is kind of crazy. Normally and historically, I would show y'all the box. I don't have a box, so what I'm gonna do is basically just show y'all the bottle again. And then on the bottom, you're gonna have the batch code. Anybody who is already familiar with the BOSS Bottled line, the aesthetic of the bottle has not changed, so nothing too fancy. And then the cap itself is actually a downside. It's very lightweight, it's plastic. I mean, it does click into place. So you can, pretty confidently pick it up from the bottle, so no issues there. But those of y'all that are entering the resale market, trying to justify $140 to $150 purchase, this presentation may be a deal breaker because again, when you spend that kind of money, you want everything to be A1 from the presentation to the fragrance itself. So I can understand some people's apprehension. That's just something that y'all might want to consider before purchasing the fragrance. All right, so let's start talking about notes. Let's start talking about what I smell. Ton of notes in this fragrance. I'll go ahead and read them off to you real quick. Up at the top, you're gonna get apple, orange blossom, and to a lesser degree, bergamot and lemon. In the mid of the fragrance, or the heart of the fragrance, you're gonna get cinnamon, cloves, as well as geranium. And then in the base or dry down of the fragrance, you're gonna get vanilla, rosewood, sandalwood, cedarwood, as well as olive wood. So you see that there are a ton of woody notes in this fragrance. As always, I'll give you a couple of sprays, let you know what I smell in this fragrance. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing the name of this channel justice. And just want to give a big shout out to Renee as well as Veronica from Perfume Mania in Round Rock, Texas outlets. They were gracious enough to give me a sample of the OG. So I will spray the original on one hand and then I'll spray the Intense EDP on the other. I'll also go ahead and spray a scent strip. Decent atomizer. I mean, not the best one I've ever seen, but it does its job. It's functional. All right, so first things first, does the flanker smell close to the original? You know, some flankers with the moniker of Intense are not worthy of that title. In this case, it is. The scent profile overall smells very similar. You can tell they're related, but the Intense flanker, the EDP, is more robust, full-bodied. It has more going on. It's a more complex scent profile. People that are intrigued about this fragrance, what they might have found appealing was that apple note. I'm sure how that happened was one reviewer said it smelled like baked apple pie, spiced apples. So the next reviewer saw that and said, you know what? I'm gonna parrot that same thing, so on and so forth. I had my own expectations coming into this fragrance and it smelled different than I thought. If I had a gun to my head, if I had to pivot y'all in a specific direction to let y'all know how it smells, it would be more akin to something like Armani Code Absolute. What I mean by code is that it's not apple, like, oh, you can't just determine right out of the gate, oh, this is apple. It's a refreshing, fruity accord that feels very well blended into the rest of the mix. It is synthetic, but not in a bad way. It's a tonality that Kim has created in a lab to remind you of what an apple could be. So it's refreshing, a bit tart and sweet. That's what you're gonna get. And then if somebody told me that there was no bergamot or lemon in this fragrance, I would absolutely agree, because it doesn't have a zesty kick of citrus right up at the top. So you do smell that fruity, refreshing, sweet accord from the apple, and it's blended more so with a note that you don't see so much prevalent in the rest of the Boss bottled flankers, and that's going to be orange blossom. So you get a refreshing, fruity accord blended with a floral freshness with citrus undertones, because we're talking about orange blossom. So that's what you're gonna get up top. And then in the mid, it does kind of start to take form. The spices start to show themselves. But again, it's cinnamon and clove, not heavy in the clove. Clove is a fragrance note that I enjoy, but you don't pick up on a ton of clove. If you want a benchmark to know what clove smells like, I would recommend something like Costume National Homme EDP. Just know that it is a spicy accord. Nothing particularly stands out, but it all smells good. And then in the base, this is a very woody fragrance. This fragrance isn't the most complex of all time. In some ways, it is rather linear, not a ton of development, but it does smell good the entire time. All in all, I do think it is a solid scent profile. All right, so let's talk about when and where you would wear this, meaning what season you would wear this one in, as well as how you would wear it. Like, would you dress it up or dress it down? Me personally, I would wear Hugo Boss Bottled Intense EDP right around early spring and late fall. With the more modern releases, they're a lot more heftier. The performance is outrageous. The scent profiles are thick, dense, and rich. That's not so much the case with this one. Again, this is a fragrance that came out originally in 1998, and even this one is almost 10 years old. So I do believe there are better fragrances that will cut through cold weather, but in those transitional seasons when it's still kind of cool outside, when you're just wearing a thermal like this is the perfect occasion to wear a fragrance like Boss Bottled EDP Intense. How am I gonna wear it? Again, casual to business casual, day date, running errands to work. This would be very work appropriate. You're not gonna offend anybody because it is very mass appealing. It does earn the name Intense. The original is already starting to fade, whereas the Intense very much has stronger legs. This one doesn't do squats. This one doesn't skip leg day. So that's the best way I know how to describe the fragrance. I do believe in that case it has earned the moniker, but if you're looking for a staple winter fragrance, just know that this fragrance is starting to show its age, but it is nonetheless an excellent scent profile. All right, so the question at the end of the day is, do I recommend this fragrance? Would I recommend y'all pick up Hugo Boss Boss Bottled Intense EDP? And honestly, it's not that easy to answer. The answer is, in all actuality, twofold. I feel like for a ton of people at $150, there are going to be better options. One of them would be Kilian's Angel Share, and for $150, you're gonna get better presentation, better longevity. It arguably smells better, and it does a similar thing. It doesn't smell the same, but it has the same utility. However, if you have an affinity for Boss Bottle, if you're an avid collector that enjoys discontinued fragrances on their shelf, then yeah, I would absolutely recommend it because, again, it does smell good. Just know with a bit of discretion that you're not going to be breaking the mold with this fragrance. It's not a full gourmand, and at about 10 years old, this fragrance is starting to show its age a little bit. But at the end of the day, the fact remains, this is a great fragrance. It doesn't go as feminine as a lot of quote-unquote gourmands. Because of the woods, this one does lean very masculine, and it has a high wearability factor. Although I said transitional seasons, if you buy fragrances with your hard-earned money, don't let anybody tell you when and where you should wear them. That's just my preference when I would wear them. But at the end of the day, this is a great fragrance. Again, shout out to Jace. Thank you, brother. I am very, very happy to have this one in my collection. All right, you guys, that pretty much wraps it up for me. Those are my thoughts and opinions on Hugo Boss Boss Bottled Intense EDP. I'm so happy, again, that I was finally able to get this review out because a lot of the reviews were 3-4 years old and they were raving about a fragrance that was $30 to $40. I wanted to do a more updated and current review. That way people have a more current and up-to-date opinion on where the fragrance stands today. I really do appreciate y'all checking out the video, even more so if you watched until the end. For those of y'all that are familiar with this channel, you know that I do a giveaway almost every single video. What sets my channel apart from other reviewers in this same space. So this is what I want y'all to do. Do yourself a favor, leave a comment below. Let me know that you want to check out this fragrance, and I will send you a free 5 milliliter decant free of charge. This is what I want y'all to do. Say you want to check out the fragrance, but put hashtag giveaway. That's going to increase your chances because I think people are getting privy to the fact that I do a lot of giveaways. So that will only increase your chances of winning this giveaway. Again, this is all just to show my appreciation for checking out the whole video. Listen, I can't say that I have a ton of content coming down the pipe, but as I stated in the beginning of the video, I promise you, you will always get honest, authentic, and unbiased opinions. In the year of 2025, y'all, that has to count for something. Until next time, y'all have a good one, and good luck on this giveaway, all right? All right, later.